So, I started Metroid Mother yesterday, and for some reason, I was just excited to return to it. I didn't think that would happen. But it turns out I still like Metroid 1. It's challenging. It's, you know, got a lot of nostalgia, but it's still a pretty good game. And, this mod... Sorry, this, alternate this modification of it makes it much more palatable. And I have to plug my controller in. Alright. Back to the bones. So there's a couple items I need. Right, why are we not... Oh, I have to rebind everything? Awesome. I think I'm using a version of, wait, how do I say this? This NES that I'm using is many years old. It has not been updated. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, there goes my game save. Where'd that go? Here it is. Alright, so, last time I played this, I got the meat suit.
Oh shit, I got the meat sweats.
But yeah, if you haven't seen this, if you didn't see this yesterday, Samus looks better, some of the enemies look better, the beams stack. It's just a really... You know, it's just a better version. They're saving. Just a better version of Metroid. Also, Kraid is this way. So, but I'm not gonna go for Kraid just yet. Vinny, would you recommend this to someone who's more used to Fusion and Super Metroid? It's still gonna be obtuse and it's not gonna play as well as those games. But if you do the Mother version of this, I can guarantee you it's gonna be a lot more... I said the word palatable already. What's a synonym for palatable? Accessible. Tasty, right? Bearable. Tolerable. Someone said Samus looks weird. Man, you should have seen Metroid 1 Samus without this then. Alright, I have to get that. And I can't do that without freezing something or bomb jumping. I can bring this thing with me. Come on, thing. Come on. My bomb jumping skills are non-existent, so that's not something I actually can do. Also, I love how Metroid 1 throws these annoying as fuck enemies at you right from the beginning. Gotta be careful. Like, you get 30 health, and it's like, oh, by the way, here's a thing that can kill you in one hit. This game did not give a fuck about your experience or your skill level. So anyway, that's good. Extra energy tank. These? So, in Norfair, I'm gonna get the wave beam. And I'm also gonna get, so wave beam and an E-tank, and then I'm gonna fight Ridley. And then I'm gonna go to Kraid, I'm gonna fight Kraid. And then I'm going to just go to Torian and fight Mother Brain. There is a chance I could finish this tonight, if I do well. There's a chance. And yes, there's a map. So this Mother... this Mother mod. Combines 3 other modifications. So quality of life stuff like the saving, the map, and the beam stacking. That's one. Better visuals is another. Better animations is another. Go. Actually, just having this much energy is going to be really helpful. If I can get the wave beam and then another energy tank and then get to Ridley, I should be alright. Yeah, the password system in this game, there's been a number of videos on YouTube about it. There's a lot of weird shit you can do, like there's a password that you can enter. Engage Ridley, motherfucker. Which, supposedly... I don't know how true this is, supposedly is not actually something that was planned. Then there's Narpa's sword, Justin Bailey. Like, the way the password system worked is certain letters would give you certain things and certain access to certain areas. And some of them were just flukes. Narpa's sword is hard-coded for debug. Narpa's sword was the only programmed password. It's amazing how Justin Bailey, Engage Ridley motherfucker, and all the rest were actually just japes. Narpa's sword is NAR password, meaning North American Release Password. Oh. Okay, wave beam is over there. So, wave beam is a little far. It's not that easy to get. And then there's an E-tank. This music sounds so, like, lazy. It doesn't sound like Norfair music. Norfair being, like, hot fire area. It just kind of sounds like an oafy person. Vinny, considering how high you regard the original Metroid, don't you feel like playing a fan-made enhancement kind of devalues it? No. No. Yeah, the old one still exists. This is, a fan-made enhancement with love. Because of the problems this game had aging. I think this is actually a better way to experience the game, and I don't hold Metroid 1 in the same high regard that I do Super Metroid. Then again, I've also played several Super Metroid hacks that were amazing. Mario hacks, that's a very... I get where you're coming from. It's a very... silly thing to say, I'd say. That means that, then... if you regard a game highly, like, any hack that you play for it would devalue it. That's what I got from that, and I apologize if I'm wrong or if I'm off base there. But I feel like that's, you know, the point of ROM hacks is to give the games a little extra life, and to, for the community to come together and make some stuff that people can enjoy and give life to the game beyond its original existence. And that's why we play these things, too, because we love the game so much. Vinny, some people do believe that. I believe that. Well, we live in a world where people think that space is fake and a conspiracy by NASA. That space isn't real. We live in a world where people put, chocolate bars in their butt. You know? So I'm not surprised by anything. So this is what you have to do to get the wave beam. You have to, like, disregard the fact that there could be deadly poisonous gas or ass water, and you just have to keep going. I mean, you can always be a purist about anything. And, like, look at the Star Wars controversy. That I get. Here's the thing, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake, when that comes out, if it comes out, you know, we joke about it not coming out, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, the thing about that is the original will still exist. And Square's releasing the original on the Switch soon. So you'll always have that. Which I think is cool. However, Star Wars, George Lucas decided that his original theatrical cuts were not what people wanted to see. So he made it very, very difficult to see those. And, you have, you know, the special editions, and you can't see the originals like I saw them on the VHS years ago. That's a little different. That's like, well, alright, George. Can I see the original that you put out? Because I think that's better, and I don't want to see your special editions. So that's how I feel about that. Look at how obtuse this is. This, okay, so it's completely out of the way, and you have to bomb that one specific splot. Getting the wave beam in Metroid 1 is fucking impossible. In fact, I don't even remember getting the wave beam when I was a kid. Anyway, it's a wave/ice beam now. It's helpful. What I'm saying is that I get not wanting to deal with the original game's jank. This mod adds things from later games, which I feel defeats the purpose of playing the older games. I mean, you... Sure, that's you, that's not me. I feel like... You know, you fight that power. It's one way to look at it, sure. I don't hold the original Metroid in high regard the same way I do, like, Mario 3. So yeah, these improvements are really nice. Now, the wave beam does kind of... I think it does a little bit more damage. I don't know. I think there's, you know... It also has more area of effect. In the original, it was wave beam or ice beam. And you need the ice beam for several instances, so there's no... There's really no reason to get the wave beam in the original, from what I remember. Because then you just get it, and then you have to go back and get the ice beam later. So screw you. It's one of those things. And we've reached the end. So, yeah, a lot of dead ends in this game. A lot of dead ends that sometimes have secret passageways that take you to the next area. Look at that. Oh yeah, no, that's glitchy as fuck. Jesus. Vinny, would you consider streaming Golden Sun 1, 2, or Golden Sun for the DS? I've answered this question before, I'll answer it for you, but not really into Golden Sun. I had Golden Sun 1, and those lighthouses were just such a fucking chore. Very repetitive. I stopped playing it. I wanted to love Golden Sun so much. I tried. Couldn't do it. Sorry. Do you like the music? I don't remember if I did. I remember liking some of the characters, I liked some of the world, I liked the Jin system. I think I liked the music. The visuals were pretty impressive for GBA. And the magic system for the puzzles was cool, but again, it just didn't hold my attention. And that was at the time where I was really into JRPGs and I wanted to like that because it was Nintendo, it was Game Boy Advance. But when the second one came out, I considered buying it, and then I just said to myself, I don't think I'm gonna play it. It's just gonna sit there. So no, probably not. Off topic, do you like Bomberman 64 music? I haven't played Bomberman 64 since like 1998. I couldn't tell you if I like the music or not. Lot of backtracking. By the time Super Metroid hit, Metroid 2... Before I go into Super Metroid, Metroid 2 kind of took this and improved on it in a lot of ways too. I know Metroid 2 isn't everyone's favorite, but it took this stuff and made it more linear and made it creepier. And I think Metroid 2 did some things right, like the save stations were cool. Some of the items in Metroid 2, like the spider ball, were really cool. It was even more desolate, and even, like, more threatening. The limitations of the Game Boy, you know, led to Metroid 2 not being classic. But it has its fans, and I loved it. I was scared of it. Metroid 2 was a game that scared me. These big, wide-open spaces. The fucking Metroids every now and then, like, you know, leaving a shell and tricking you. And then, like, fucking popping up out of nowhere, scare the shit out of you and fight you. It just, there's a lot of stuff that would happen in Metroid 2 that was done really well. And it was a scary game for a 6 or 7-year-old. But I wouldn't want to replay it now, so I'm glad Samus Returns and AM2R exist. Even though both games are great in their own way, they still, and there's a video about this, I forget who did the video, but I thought it was really interesting, they still didn't quite nail certain aspects of the game. Mainly that isolation and horror angle. Oh, it was a Mark Brown thing. Okay, yeah, he did a really good video essay on that. That said, I don't think I would replay Metroid 2 in its original form. But then Super Metroid comes along, you know, a couple years after that, 1994, and it was a pretty fucking hype experience. Pardon the use of that word. But it was really exciting when that game came out, because I played the original Metroid so much. And the thing is, Metroid was great when it first came out, but it also wasn't the most popular game. Like, telling people that Metroid was your favorite game wasn't exactly common. But then Super Metroid comes out, and it does this, and it does everything better. And yet you get some Metroid 1 nostalgia. You go back to some of the same areas, and it just kind of streamlines everything, adds more control options, adds more, like, mobility to Samus. Not overly difficult compared to this. And not as long as this, just because of the, you know, the aimless wandering you have to do in this game without a map. But, you know, Super Metroid just streamlines things. And then, the other aspect of Super Metroid is a lot of the areas are interconnected. So, like, for example, where I was before, down here, I had to go all the way back up and around to get over here. But there's not a lot of shit like that in Super Metroid. And that's a reason why a lot of people don't want to get into a game like this anymore. Because it can be a chore. But some people consider that to be hardcore, and they love it. And it's like a more... Guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The experience is much more like your own when you play this game. Authentic, I guess you could use the word authentic, but I think, you know, the fact that you have to, like, struggle to find where you have to go in this. Hardcore. Bro, you're hardcore. If you can beat Metroid 1 without a map, you're hardcore. Jorge wanted to be hardcore, but his mom wouldn't let him. Where the fuck am I going? Hang on. Is there some kind of clue? Oh! Well, there's a lot of bottom right. Destructible environment. Whoa, whoa. Hang on a minute. Jape. I see that the bubbles are different, I just don't know how to get the fuck back up. Oh, okay, okay. I didn't see that bombable tile. That's the answer, is I didn't see it. I forgot where I came in. You know, I'm not perfect, and I don't have a neural link to the chat. Could you imagine how much smarter I would be if I had a neural link to the chat? Everybody's message just instantly hit me all at the exact same time. I would know every meme. I would know every ass that I'm supposed to eat. I should yeah, I think I have to explain the eater ass thing. Okay, so when I play video games, for anyone who's new to the stream, or anyone who hasn't noticed this phenomenon, let's call it a phenomenon. Almost, yeah, in the weirdest places, the weirdest games, the weirdest characters, the weirdest enemies, the weirdest inanimate objects. It's not really predictable when it will happen, but it will happen, where chat will tell me to eat its ass. Oh look, it's Dr. Wily and his alien form from Mega Man 2. Eat its ass, Vinny. I don't think this is a Vinesauce specific thing. I think this is a Twitch thing. Germa gets it a lot too. Yeah. Could just be an internet thing. I just don't think we were ready for the internet. I think we got to the internet before we were ready for it. We did a sequence break. And now we have to evolve laterally with the internet. How could we have prepared? That's a good point. I don't know. Wrote more letters to each other? No, there's no... How do you prepare for an alien life form, as Bowie once called it? Porn. The year 2019. Porn. Porn has changed. The world is in chaos over whose ass should be eaten. No one knows who. Bounty Hunter Samus Aran has on the quest to eat all the porn. Vinny, what cult classic game should I play? I'm looking for something. Anything that can keep my attention, and normally it comes from classics. Cult classics. Yeah, Earthbound is good. Psychonauts. I like Secret of Evermore as a cult classic. It might not... I don't know if you like that kind of thing. I don't know if we really like that kind of thing. Super Mario RPG is more, you know, it's a popular game, but I'd also say that a lot of people haven't played it. Might be worth a look. I'm just gonna stick with Super Nintendo for now. ActRaiser. ActRaiser is a good action game with also light building mechanics. Fucking fantastic game. Last time I was here, I was taking a lot of damage. Varia suit certainly helps. Kirby's Dream Course. Vinny, have you ever heard of Super Metroid Redesign? It's an awesome ROM hack that changes up everything in Super Metroid, adds new mechanics. No. I haven't heard of that one. I know there's a lot of Super Metroid ROM hacks. Super Metroid Arcade being the one that I'd recommend. But, no, I haven't heard of that one. I also have played some Zelda 2 ROM hacks that have made me wish I was never born. So, I mean, I'm always a little skittish about ROM hacks to begin with, because the difficulty can just be fucking bonkers. So I can't get that missile. I have to go under? Do I really have to go through the lava to get that? There's no way to get that missile from this side. I'm gonna trust the Phazon dude once again. You know, you can get to some of these locations, these really hard locations in this game, without getting a lot of the upgrades. So I do remember getting to this location when I was a kid and dying a lot as well. And I remember, you know, just keep trying, get frustrated, stop for like a week and then come back to it, start a new game, and then find the Varia suit and be like, oh! As weird as Samus's legs look now, in the actual Metroid 1, in original Metroid 1, boy oh boy, were they interesting. Also, does anyone have that picture of Samus from that calendar? It was like a 1990 calendar, and Samus had like a pencil gun. It's the best render of Samus I've ever seen. Vinny, there's an NES Metroid and Zelda 1 combo rando you should try. Well, I've heard of it. Actually, people recommend the Link to the Past Super Metroid one to me all the time. And the combo randomizer for this game and Zelda 1 were recommended as well. I'm not into the combo the combo ROM hacks. I'll explain why in a second, but take a look at this. Isn't that amazing? I like the window. Dude, like, it's like fucking Bioshock Samus. Here's another one. And there's Kraid. So they went to the trouble of doing a 3D model, I mean, rudimentary as it is, of Samus, and look at what they thought Samus was. It's just, it's amazing. But I guess if you have, only Metroid 1, and not even this sprite to go off of, maybe that's what you'll get. Here we go, Ridley. That slowdown. By the way, this Ridley has changed. The original Ridley... I'm sorry to do this to everybody, but... Can I get a picture of the original Ridley? This actually looks like Ridley. Baby mode. Oh, the fucking level was different too, look. So that's Ridley from from Metroid 1. You can see that even the boss fight area is a little different. He looks like the professor from Futurama. It kinda does. Samus, it's me, Ridley. I'm here to tell you that I'm dummy thick and I can't fit through the corridor. I can't make it into Smash. Good news, everyone! I've been confirmed for Smash Brothers!
Hey, you sure it's not a mistake? You're not even from Nintendo.
Apparently, I was in Metroid 1!
Hey, remember when this was Shitty Bender and not Tinky Winky?
There is a difference.
How you doing, everyone? How you doing?
Yeah, there's a difference. It's not exactly one-to-one. The worst part is that actually getting out of here... The best way to get to Kraid would be to just end myself over and over and over again. Can you save quit? Well, I'd lose all my HP. And... I don't want to do that, so I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna run there. There's no plasma in this game, right? I don't know, like, I was kind of struggling to remember on whether or not there was a better beam in this game. But yeah, 5 E-tanks, that's pretty good. Wait a minute, why do I have so many missiles? When you defeat Ridley, do you just get a fuckload of extra missiles? Oh. 2 added the plasma and spazer. Did it really? Well, oh yeah, it did. It did. Well, you get the ice beam really early in that game, too. In Metroid 2, remind me, did they stack? No. No, but there was a point in the game where you could choose each of them in the same level. What, between Ice and Plasma, or between Spazer and Plasma? Someone said, what's even the objective in this game? Between all of them? Oh, okay. The objective is to kill Mother Brain, and then make it out of the planet Metroid. Okay. Alright. Listen up. I'm not even kidding. In the Captain N TV show, they got so many things wrong that they said that Mother Brain lived in a planet called Metroid. Let me find you a little something here. Look at Videoland.
Welcome to Videoland.
Okay, so you have Metroid, which is just a floating brain. Castlevania, not Dracula's Castle, Castlevania. Congoland is where Donkey Kong lives. Megaland, where Mega Man is from. And Mount Icarus, where Kid Icarus is from, not Pit. That was Simon Belmont, everybody.
Is everything
Rest with your lovely fingers and the official inkwell.
Look at Simon. There he is. There's Simon. Does anyone even have the rights to this cartoon anymore? Like, do I have to worry about this getting claimed?
possible? Go to Metroid.
Here it is. This is the planet Metroid.
And I will do my best to go with it, Mega Man.
What's this, Captain N? You should buy the rights to it. I want to own this show.
Yes, Your Highness.
I've got to
Yes, Your Highness.
Simon. You don't have to come if you don't want to, Kevin.
Hey, it's either that or go back home and clean up my room.
Yep. Vinny, the entire series is on YouTube. I don't think they care. Again, I don't know who owns this. Look. There it is. There's Metroid. This is Mother Brain.
How do I love thee?
Simon Belmont, captured by King Hippo and Mother Brain.
1 is for your little button nose. 2 is for your cute little tentacle toes. 3 is...
Enough! I want the truth this time! What is your real plan?
Alright, I'll tell you.
Okay, that's enough of that. So, Mother Brain was voiced by Audrey 1 from Little Shop of Horrors. Audrey 2, sorry. Same, you know, Audrey 2, yes. Same thing.
Oh! Captain N!
So now you know the goal of Metroid is to sneak into the weird gas planet known as Metroid. I have a request. For anyone who owns the Captain N series or has it on their computer, do me this favor. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask, but maybe you can help. There's an episode where they go into the planet and they show a bunch of Metroid enemies and they have to fight their way through the planet Metroid. If you can find me the episode and the timestamp of when that happens, I will reward you with dank exposure. That's about it. Remember, with exposure you can buy make-believe mac and cheese. Season 1, Episode 12, Metroid Sweet Metroid. Oh my god, that was quick. Then again, I guess just the name of it. That's good enough, huh?
Hey, Your Highness, it's me, Mega Man.
Joy of sin.
Kevin? It's all
Those powers weren't powerful. King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard were just pretending.
So she teams up, Mother Brain teams up with Dr. Wowie. There you go, there's a Metroid enemy. What the fuck was that? What was just being shot at Simon Belmont?
50,000 troops.
I don't even know. Man, I don't even know. He's bleeding blood now. So here you go. Here's what the inside of Planet Metroid looks like.
For my zapper right now. I'd even be happy with a squirt gun.
Here, you enjoy this for a second while I... It even laughs. Enjoy this for a second while I play through more Metroid. Look at it! I don't remember fighting them in Metroid, but there's the high jump boots. He's fighting them off with a 2x4. Wow. There's another Guardian of Metroid. Do you remember when you fight this enemy in this game? I don't. It has pouches. It has like little medieval pouches. This is a sci-fi game. Where did he get the gun? Why is it a revolver? At least they got the music. Oh, they did like a little remix of the Metroid themes. Doesn't sound too bad. Is that a holy hand grenade? Oh, it's supposed to be the bomb. So they just played like 3 minutes of Metroid and then they just like put whatever they could in.
This is Mother Brain's lair.
But she's gone!
According to these battle plans, Mother Brain's forces are attacking all over Videoland.
Alright, that's enough of that. I feel like I now have to explain the show, because there's probably like a couple hundred people that have no idea what that even is. That's a show that I used to watch in the late 80s called Captain N, the Video Master, or the Game Master, whatever it was. And the beginning of the show...
But she made one...
This is the beginning of the show. You need to see this. This is the whole plot of the show is this. Watch. All of your questions will be answered right here. So, Kevin, your everyday 80s teenager, super cool dude, gets sucked into the TV. Whoa! And he...
Captain N, the Game Master.
So he gets to hang out with really cool, like Super Smoker Mega Man, Princess of Videoland, who was in none of the games, not Mario, by the way, Kid Icarus, who adds the Icarus to every sentence, narcissist Simon Belmont, who gets creepy every episode, and he gets to fight a floating brain. And Link shows up from time to time, too. There was some special episodes with Link. And he used the zapper that came with the NES to fight. No, that wasn't Excuse Me, Princess. It was the same voice actor, but it was a much more serious Link. Like, the Zelda episodes they did in Captain N were much more down to earth and not, excuse me, comedy episodes. There's a love triangle between Link, Zelda, and Kevin. Dear God. Vinny, and you wonder why Nintendo of Japan has an iron grip on their IP nowadays. To be fair, no one knew what the fuck to do with video games that, you know, like, it was such a new thing. You're not wrong. You're right. But even the Mario show, like, they didn't quite get it. They did the best they could, and they actually invented some lore too, I think, but... You know, these people didn't know what the fuck they were doing. These are cartoon makers that just got given this, like... This show will have viewers because video games are popular. When I say best they could, I mean for people that didn't give a shit. Like, for people that probably played the games for 3 minutes, read the instruction manual, and put as small, like, as little amount of effort into these things as possible. Mega Man is green. That's true, yes, they made Mega Man green. Okay, now we need to talk about that for a second. There's no reason Mega Man should be green. Simon... Yeah, I mean, Simon is like... He looks like a pilot. Oh, good music. Simon looks like a pilot. Can anyone help me find the episode of Captain N where Alucard shows up? So I can show everybody Alucard from the show Captain N, please? Oh, you have the video? Okay. Alright, you ready for this? If you think what they did to Mega Man and Simon Belmont was weird, if you think them coloring Mega Man green was weird, wait until you see Alucard.
Pops! Check out my new bat flip! Alright! Vampires rule! Whoa, cool it, Dad, dude. You're wrinkling the cape.
Alucard, you incompetent idiot! I told you to guard the poltergeist king! He almost escaped!
Oh, wow. Bummer, huh?
Is that all you have to say for yourself? You are a disgrace! Out of my castle, you deadbeat!
Hey! You can't kick me out! I'll show you! You just wait and see!
Meanwhile,
And that is the beginning of how Alucard wanted to fight Dracula. That is the origin story. Hey, Dad, dude! I just want to ride my bat skateboard! Dad, dude! God, I hate bomb jumping in Metroid 1 so much. Fuck. I tried. Ah! Alucard, I am tired of you smoking pot. Why do you smoke the weed, Alucard? So that's what Dracula was on about in Space Funeral. God, now I want to see an adaptation of Castlevania with Alucard being just what we saw him as, the skateboarding, like, rebellious teenage son of Dracula. Ah! There we go. Konnichiwa. We here at Konami have decided that we want to bring back Castlevania. We know there are fans of this series, and that's why we've decided to bring back Castlevania in full force, starting with Kid Dracula. It'll be a skateboarding game with Alucard, his friend, Skeletor, and a gaggle of ghouls to help you on your way as you go through Videoland skateboarding with Tony Hawk. It'll be a skateboard battle royale with pachinko elements. That's how you get your loot crates. You gotta play a little bit of pachinko. Someone wrote Skate 4, Kid Dracula, Castlevania, Skate or Die. 1080 kickflip! It's just that, like every time you do a move. Grind the rails! Vinny, can you tell us that again, but in New York Trashman style? Oh! Someone said called it. No, you didn't call it, you inspired it. I was totally prepared to forget about that until you said that. Go get him, chat. No, I'm kidding. Nope. Nope. There's, some floors here. See, now, the map is extremely helpful for these reasons, where I can finish this game kind of quickly, which is good, because I didn't want to spend 8 hours playing through Metroid, which is about how long it usually takes when you don't have a map or anything. But, I just remember there's, like, false floors, there's a lot of dead ends and shit. New Kraid. Looking good, Kraid. Can I get an image of old Kraid, please? Kraid likes to toss his fingers. I forgot he turns. Fuck out of here, Craig. I mean, the NES couldn't really do boss fights the same way that, you know, Super Nintendo could. But, you know, they try. It felt a lot harder when I was younger, maybe because I didn't have the fucking Varia suit. But yeah, that is what Kraid looked like. He was just like a little dinosaur thing, like a little armadillo dinosaur thing. Contra had huge bosses. That's true. Contra, Mega Man, but they also had to do some tricks where they had to make the background part of the boss. So what you do is you have an empty room, and the background scales with the boss, and you just use that. Or you use face plus hands boss. Again, yeah. Vinny, what about the dragon boss in Mega Man 2? There's a good video about Mega Man 2 that talks about how they did that. It's just hard, again, it's hardware trickery, where they were able to get away with it because there was nothing else on the screen. Or barely anything else, and that was... Yeah, the dragon was a background element with some... You know, there's a couple sprites on it. Yeah, and there's always flicker. I mean, the Super Nintendo did that too, but they had more to work with. And by then they had figured all that out too. Like, these are some tricks of, you know, tools, tips and tricks. Fucking hell. Also, if you play Super Metroid, and you're like, wow, Samus is floaty. Metroid 1 Samus is way floatier. Forgot about that. Whoa! Hey! Dad, dude, it's me, Alucard. Have you heard about the newest Nintendo tip line? Yeah, for only $5.99 a minute, you can get the sickest tips and trips from Nintendo Power. What do you mean, trips? Could you imagine working at the Nintendo hotline? That was like being a streamer before streaming existed. No, I mean, I don't know where that video is, but there was a video I saw. I don't know how accurate it was. It could have been just, like, staged. But there was, in fact, a video of the Nintendo hotline where they were playing the game and reading from a script as well. And, yeah, it looked like they had the game booted up. Oh, I had a weird dream last night. I had a dream that, Retro made a big announcement. And I was there, I was invited, and they made like a racetrack. Like an F-Zero-esque racetrack. And, it was Star Fox Grand Prix. It was a Star Fox racing game. And it was free. But there was barely any Star Fox in it. Like, they were in F-Zero mobiles. And it was part of Nintendo's plan to... I don't know why I had this dream, but... in the dream, this game was designed to boost, Nintendo's... whoa. Voice crack. Nintendo's online plan. So the game was free, with microtransactions, and it was primarily online. It was just an online racing game with Star Fox-like combat. And it was a dream, so it was bullshit and weird, and it didn't make any sense, but that was what I remembered from it, and Banjo-Kazooie was in it. I don't actually think that we're gonna... You know what? I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna say that Retro's next game is the Star Fox Grand Prix game. I don't think it's gonna be free to play and primarily online, but I do think it will have an online component. I mean, this has been a rumor for a while now, and a lot of people have talked about it. Apparently, some people have got to look at it. I don't know. I mean, who the fuck knows anymore? Do you remember the Smash leak that wasn't true, that everybody was, like, losing their shit over? The Grinch? So you can't really trust leaks. But, you know, in this case, it feels like there might be some smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So I'm gonna say that there's a little bit of smoke for this Star Fox racing game. And I think Retro is going to announce it at E3 or at a Nintendo Direct on February 13th, mark my words, and then release it a couple months later. Vinny, you'll eat those words. I will eat them with a side of hot sauce. Or a side of pan. That's fine. I don't want a Star Fox racing game. I don't really want that at all, actually. What if it's good? Alright. I mean, if it's good, I'll play it. But that's not the first thing I'd want. If you told me Retro was working on a game for 5 years or 4 years, and then you told me it was a Star Fox racing game, I'd be a little disappointed. Anyway, here are the titular Metroids. Looking at Metroids makes me hungry. Like, I want candy. They look like they're made of jelly. Yes, the only way to kill a Metroid is to freeze it, and then use 5 missiles. Vinny, I really wanted an Eternal Darkness game. That was a rumor for a little bit, that Retro was working on the Eternal Darkness IP. That would make me more happy than anything else now that I think about it. And I do have faith in Retro to make something good out of that franchise. Yeah, can I get a pepper hoop? Someone said that would be sick, but it's so niche. I don't know if it would sell. Well, then again, a lot of wacky shit is selling really well on the Switch. There's one game that got released, I don't remember the name of it, but it sold 5 times more on Switch in a week than it did on Steam in 6 months. Oh god. There's a pretty big appetite for, indie games and stuff on the Switch, but I also think that there's a lot of room for, a game like Eternal Darkness. Something a little bit... Because it's not just, like, the old adage of Nintendo being for kids. There's a lot of people in their 30s and 40s playing Switch now. I think that it would sell alright. It wouldn't sell amazing, which is probably why they haven't made it. But yeah, the Switch is, you know, for people that, like, take public transportation, there's a lot of reasons to own a Switch if you're older. And, I do feel like there's a market for things like Resident Evil. You know, a Metal Gear Solid collection would be nice. I would love that. Here we go. Fun. So fun. What the fuck do you do if you run out of missiles here? Oh my god, there's more? How many missiles does it take to kill Mother Brain? I'm worried I don't have enough now. $30 to $35. Oh well, I just have enough. I just need to kill the spicy pepper hoops. Got it. Eat dick, mother brain. With 2 missiles left. And now this fun part. Same corridor from Super Metroid, well, kind of. Close enough. There you go. Mother Brain is no more. Zebes is safe thanks to you. Why is it? Why do we need it to be safe? The galaxy owes you its eternal gratitude. The Metroid threat is over. Why do we need Zebes to be safe? It's just like a home to like scummy, like life forms, scummy plants, and space pirates. And brains. There she is. And no, I'm not calling it Zebs. Sorry. So I did that pretty fast, I guess, right? Fast enough to get Metroid true ending. That Metroid is in fact a girl. I mean, we could talk about that. That was a pretty big moment in gaming. And a total surprise for a lot of people, because they don't even mention... In the instruction booklet, they call Samus a he, I believe, in Metroid 1. And then that happens, it's like... In 1988, whatever it was. Pretty big moment. Roids. Vinny, Metroid is the planet. The girl's name is Mario. Oh, sorry. It's still a good game, and with a little bit of quality of life, it's even better. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that playthrough, and having a map was helpful as well. Justin Bailey time. I think they did new sprites for this too. Yep. So yeah, now they give you New Game Plus, where you get to keep all the abilities, except missiles and health.
This is it, Luigi.
How does Morph Ball work in Justin Bailey mode? Oh, I have no idea. It hurts, though. It's like when Wolverine pulls out his claws, it hurts him every single time. It's kind of like that. Imagine every bone in your body breaking, and then being formed together only to break again. Yeah, the run is amazing. It looks like she's got 3 legs. So anyway, yeah, Metroid. There's still some, you know, there's a lot of areas that I didn't even explore because I didn't need to, but, you know, I'm obviously not going to do that because a lot of them are just dead ends or just some, missiles. But, it's more the same. But yeah, I'm gonna say that I recommend if anyone wants to revisit Metroid, but they're a little bit afraid to jump into it because it's so fucking hard to know where you're going. This is helpful. The Mother modification is really, really helpful. It's still not gonna be a good game for some people, but I think it's pretty good. And also, next time I stream an NES game, it'll probably be Kid Icarus. I don't know when, but eventually. Yeah, I mean, obviously you could just play Zero Mission. Zero Mission is great. I would recommend that any day to anyone. But if you're really, really looking to play the original Metroid and see what it's all about, then this one. This version of it is pretty good. So.
When my father disappeared and Mother Brain tried to take over Videoland, our only hope lay in an ancient prophecy that a great warrior from another world would come to our rescue.
Did anyone catch any word that Mother Brain just said? I heard video dust and that was it.
Kevin!
Kill me.
You were right the first time, Lana. I haven't changed. I'm not much good as a prince.
I don't even know what's happening here. The worst part of Captain N is by the time it hit season 3, they had to, like, it wasn't very successful, so they had to downgrade the animations. So it went from looking like that to 10-minute shows.
Here.
Really cheap.
Can't cook me out.
Oh, that's the Alucard episode, yeah.
You got. Simon, be careful.
Now he tells me. No, I thought I'd have a bite in my room today. How nice of you to join me.
Oh my god. That wizard was supposed to be Sypha? That was Sypha Belmont, the wizard? Did they just look at the sprite and said, yeah, that's just an old wizard man?
Fall back! These hotheads don't know the meaning of fair play.
Wow!
Famous video game character, Baseball Man. They just took everything so literally. It's like, yeah, we have to shoot the baseballs and the gloves. Amazing. All right. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream a little early tonight. I started early, and I got through everything I wanted to.